Hello, this is RACKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another case review video, and this is of the best clear cases for the Galaxy S22. Now we are using two Ultras here, but obviously these case manufacturers make it for every single one of their devices. So we're gonna go through them because clear cases are something that a lot of people like to get, especially when you wanna show off your phone. These are gonna be the top ones that I would recommend, and I'm gonna go through my favorites at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Samsung one because that is the one that I started using. It was the first case that I put on my phone, so that's why it's already out of the box. And the whole idea behind this one is that you do have a minimal protective case, but very good kickstand. So that is one of the nice parts about this one. We'll get to the other kickstand one in a second, but this one really looks nice for that reason. It does get fingerprints. You are gonna get lint in it, like you can see that right away. So just know that it's not the perfect clear case, but you are going to at least be able to see the phone, although it's a bit of a more of a matte finish, and we'll get to some of the glossy versus matte in a second. In terms of the triggers, the power button's good, volume rocker is good. And in terms of the front protection, which is called the lip protection on the top and bottom, it's pretty good. It does go even in front of a screen protector so that it should hit this instead of the ground. So really always good to have that. And overall, I would rank this pretty good. Plus, hopefully this will get lint from not going inside these circles. Cases that have the cutout around it will have more lint inside of it, so just to let you know that part. And then the main competitor to the Samsung one would be the Spigen one. Now this one has a kickstand as well. It's the only other model that it's going to have a kickstand here today, and overall a little bit of a different look. Same kind of fingerprinty style though, so you are going to get those fingerprints. Some lint could get there as well, of course. The kickstand in comparison is thinner and thicker, so it should be okay as long as you don't have a too odd of an angle for a wireless charger, but overall it is going to be thicker than the Samsung one in terms of the kickstand. Again, this part is also open, so you just want to be aware of that you might get lint around the cameras because they aren't sealed up completely, and we'll go over that in each of these, but most of them are going to be like this. So just know that you might want to get a camera protector at that point, just to kind of raise it up and not to get so much lint in there if that is going to bother you. Now in terms of the presses, I will say that I actually do like the Spigen buttons better. It has a little groove right here for the power button, so it really distinguishes it from the volume rocker. So I do like that overall, and overall I think it shows the color very well. Again, both of these though are a little bit more matte. So what that means is that it's going to darken the color overall compared to what the color actually is. So between these two, I like the Samsung for a slimmer profile. I would recommend the Spigen for a little bit more durability, and I do like the buttons better on the Spigen. And when it comes to the kickstand though, the Samsung is going to feels a little bit better quality. Okay, and the next one we're going to go to is the Speck Presidio clear case. Now this case is very unique for its clear case because it's the only one that is a guarantee to have a clear white. So make sure to keep the box with this one because you do have that guarantee. And again, it really doesn't turn yellow. So that's the problem with most clear cases that a lot of people will face, is that if you do want a clear case that doesn't turn yellow, Speck is the one that I have full confidence in that it does not, because I've kept some for many years and they've never turned yellow on me, so I do appreciate that. Okay, and here it is. Again, that same camera cutout that we saw in the Spigen one, a little bit different though, as it doesn't have the P shape, but more of just a round shape. And again, it is going to get some of those fingerprints. This is another matte finish, so you will get some of those fingerprints and a little bit darker color on here versus the actual phone. Overall though, good button presses and feels. This one differentiates the volume rocker, so the volume rocker is the one that feels a little bit different, but not too much, not a huge difference in grooves. So what I would say is, if I felt it in my pocket, would I be able to feel the difference? And it would take a little bit of a second, but this dip does help. Now I will say Speck so far is going to be one of the best for durability. This lip protection is far better than the last two we saw, so it's just definitely good for lip protection and also side protection. Look how thick this one is. It is going to make your phone overall wider, but it's going to definitely give you the best protection so far that we've seen. And Speck does recommend this for up to a 13-foot drop, so that's really good. Okay, and then we have the Incipio case. Now the Incipio case, I will say, is going to be one of the tougher ones. We do have one that's a little bit more, but this is going to be that perfect blend of tough while still keeping slim. So this is a really good one. It has a very more glossy finish, so things are going to be more reflected off of it. What that also does mean is that it actually shows fingerprints a little bit less compared to the other ones. I'm not sure what kind of coating it's using, but it shows fingerprints less, but lint seems to be even more attracted to it. So I had to wipe this down a couple of times before being ready to show it, and it still has some lint on it. So overall, that's the one thing I will say about this, that you are going to get more lint, but it keeps the color a bit more. Like this one is less of a differentiator compared to the other ones that we've seen. So I will say that it does keep the color a little bit more than some of the other cases. Now, one of the other differences, of course, is you get a different outline of color. So I do love this grip. This is on the black one, and it has different colors depending on which one. So the black, as you can see, is mixed with gray. And this one, the buttons are definitely easier to distinguish. Volume rocker, it has a nice big dip in there, so you can definitely feel that more easily. And the power button's good as well. So good presses, easy to feel. And again, really, really good protection on the top and bottom. So really far overreaching lip on the top and bottom, just to make sure that it doesn't hit the ground at all. This one is actually rated for one of the biggest drops as well, 14 feet. So really good. I think if you want protection, but still a slimmer profile, this is gonna be a great one to get. I really like this one. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the other side of the aisle. Because the Incipio had such a good grip and was really protective, I'm gonna go to my next one that I've long been a fan of, one of my favorite cases to always put on my phone. That is the Ringke Fusion X case. And so here it is. I absolutely love this case. I really do. There's just so much good about it. So this is another one, again, very super slim profile with a really strong protection. This has great protection on the corners more specifically than anything else. Those are the most vulnerable part of your phone, so it's always good to have it. Now, I do wish they maybe cut this down a little bit so it doesn't go out as far. I will say that, because then it looks like too, maybe more industrial techy kind of like, and I think it would be a lot cleaner looking. But I love this finish. The glossy, again, is going to be here. So what that means is that, again, fingerprints don't show as easily, but you are going to have more of a true color, and lint can get definitely in there. This, though, is where it shines above all of the other cases, and that is the grip is the best on all of these phones, followed by the Incipio. That one is going to be the second best grip. But definitely the power button, you could easily feel the difference because the power button is completely rigid, and the volume rocker not only has a good separation dip, but you actually have little 3 dots right here on there. So it just really stands out for basically being able to have the best differentiating case. When it comes to buttons, there's no case better than the Ringke Fusion X. It's just done so well. So I really love it. And again, it's so great. I think I'm gonna keep this on there for now, just because it really is so nice to have. The only thing that I will challenge Ringke to do is come up with a Fusion style case like this. Again, get rid of this part a little bit and have a kickstand in it. If Ringke does that, I think they would have the best overall clear case on the market. So that's my challenge to Ringke. Now, we talked about the ability for clear and clear matte, and Ringke actually has both options, which is what I really like about them. So they do have both options here. Clear gloss, as you can see, it reflects, versus not clear gloss, which is clear matte. So glossy and matte, again, they both have their own thing. However, this matte is ultra matte. What I mean by that is that the ultra matte really doesn't show fingerprints like we have seen on some of the others. And although neither case really does, again, very well coated on both of these, you will get a little bit more lint with the glossy. But that is obviously a big distinguishment, is that you can see how much the glossy reflects, whereas the clear matte doesn't. And this specific one doesn't even show the fingerprint. So I would say if you want a matte clear case, the Ringke matte clear case is probably the best one out of all of these when it comes to a matte clear case. Now let's go to the volume rockers. So both of these still have that great power button rigid feel. In terms of the volume rocker, again, they still differentiate themselves by having that dot on the top volume. So you can always feel it in your pocket to know exactly which button you need to press. So I really like that. And again, Ringke probably has the best buttons on all these cases. And now we have the two more clear and durable cases. Now there is one more that I would say is even more durable than this one, which we'll get to in a second. But first of all, you have the fashionable one, which is the Cosmo line by iBlason. So this one is obviously definitely more on the fashionable side. You have that look, the striking difference, and you'll see a lot more of these on our cutest cases video. So that one is going to be really, again, more of a fashion style and look to it. These come in different colors, but this is a really good silver one. In terms of the buttons, good dip in the volume rocker, but other than that, nothing special for it. Now, this one does have a front screen protector built in, so that is something you should know, and it does have a special hole for your fingerprint reader so that it still goes through just fine. Then you have the bigger one from iBlason, not as fashionable, but more of a color statement. And again, this one is going to have a little bit more of a glossy, so lint catching on here, very rubbery corners and all rubber all the way around. Now this one does have a front protector that has to go on here. The main thing to note with these is you don't want to have a screen protector with them because it will peel up the screen protector, as you can kind of see on my phone right now. So I did have one on there and knowing this, but just so you know, if you get this, do not put a screen protector on it because you don't want to have one on there. It will pop off. All right, and then we have the most durable for sure, and that is the Unicorn Beetle. This is, of course, the most protective clear case you can pretty much get on the market. It is, as you can see, clear, and it does have these tremendous size surrounding it. Now, the first thing you have to know about this phone is that it is going to make your phone a lot thicker on the sides. So just know that going in, this case will make it thicker on the sides, thicker on the top. So it's gonna make your phone overall bigger, but this is gonna protect your phone for sure. You have the fingerprint scanner indent as well as a plastic screen protector on top built into the case. And yes, it does leave more fingerprints on this matte coating, but overall, again, if you just want the most protection, this is it. Okay, now all that being said, which ones would I say are my absolute favorites? Well, I have to admit, although I've had the Samsung case for a while now, I'm thinking about switching over to the Spigen just because I do like the more protection that it offers. So I'm gonna be trying that for a little bit, and I love to have a kickstand. The great thing about clear cases is you can typically put the universal kickstand that we've showed you in the past and attach it to these. So that's gonna be a really good way to go. So that being said, the Fusion X, I just love the button presses of the Ringke Fusion X. So it's just always going to be a go-to of mine. I will say that when it comes to the matte finish, I think the Ringke one is very impressive on that front. I think style-wise, if you wanted a style clear case, this one is a really cool one from Cosmo, and it just really stands out. I think it's the most unique. If I were gonna give a clear case to my wife, it would probably be this one, just because obviously my son plays with her phone, so this is gonna be the one I would probably go with in that case. And then on this side, I love Incipio. I think it's pretty much the best slim durable one there is out there. So if you want durability plus very slim form factor, I really do like this one. And Presidio, I mean, Speck case is probably my go-to clear case I recommend most of the time when people ask me for one. just because of the anti-yellowing. For instance, I did get a Spigen one for the iPhone 13 Pro, and about 3 months later, it is already turning yellow, whereas Speck, that doesn't happen. So that is going to be the differences in all these cases, and knowing their benefits and faults, those are some of my favorites. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think. And as always, this has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great tech videos on your screen right now.